Hello, friends. It is Chelsea, and welcome on back to another Playing with Me. This week, I am going to be showing you the week of, I believe, July 28th through August the 3rd of 2025. I did want to mention really quickly, and I do show it in the video here. I did use this kit originally in my April lineup, and so you guys can go back and watch that video if you want to. But I could not, for the life of me, find a better option for this week. This was the week of Gen Con. I couldn't find a better option, and so I ended up switching the week that you saw me use this kit. I switched out with the Pink Planner Shop Dog Mom kit, so I will show it eventually. I have no idea where I am in the video. My video is not cooperating with me, so that's just how we're doing life right now. It is what it is. But yeah, so I did use this kit along with, I used this kit. I originally, you'll see me throw down some extender boxes on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I did just go ahead and pull those all up just because I just decided I wanted everything to be out instead of it being like, what am I trying to say? Like, I didn't want it to be covered up. Like, I didn't want anything covered up. And so I just decided to honestly pull up the extender boxes that I had placed down. Also, my video stopped recording, so eventually I'm going to cut in here because I realized that it had stopped recording. I apparently have a 20-minute limit on my recording, and so I didn't realize that. I've literally never recorded that long, and usually if I am recording for longer than that, I'm like stopping and starting and yada yada yada. So I really didn't realize that was a thing, but it is what it is. So you'll see me like start to lay stuff down and all of that, and then it just stops. So it just stops, and I'm like, okay. And I cut in here, and I'm like, where did it stop recording? Oh, as I was laying down Monday. So it is what it is. Didn't pay any attention. That's what I get. And now I know for future videos. I had originally filmed this as a talk through. Excuse me, I just burped. I did originally film this as a talk through video, which is why it was taking me so long to film it. Because I literally started from scratch, and was going to talk through the whole video, but it just, between the technical difficulties and just me kind of being very scattered with what I was talking about and everything like that, I just kind of decided to speed through the footage and talk about what happened. Eventually I would like to maybe like, I don't know, the next week spread, or maybe the week after that, I can kind of talk more about everything that happened during Gen Con, but you guys can kind of see what happened. Tuesday evening we left to go to Indianapolis. My friends were very anxious because the game that they were going to be demoing all weekend, they had not received copies of the game because the company that we volunteer with, Hachette, literally did not receive copies of Tag Team until I think the Monday before Gen Con started. So that was quite an interesting situation there. Fortunately, we were able to, Tuesday evening, they were like, hey, we have copies, we've got them out if you guys want to come and fiddle around with them. And then Wednesday, one of the designers of the game actually was there because they, behind the scenes, and maybe I'm not supposed to talk about this, I don't know, but the people, so the Scorpion Masqué made Tag Team, but Scorpion Masqué made Tag Team, but basically the Tag Team, like the developers and all of that, they were like adamant that like Tag Team become like, I mean, it was literally just like Tag Team Gwent, Tag Team on one end, Gwent on the other end, and everything else was just kind of shoved in between. It is what it is. But yeah, so fortunately one of the designers of the game was there, and he was able to kind of teach my two friends, Matt and Rich, how to play the game. So that way they could demo it all weekend. So that was interesting. But so yeah, Wednesday was a setup day. Yeah, Monday was a normal day. Tuesday was a busy day. I bought my friend's dog a stuffed fish, which you will have seen there on Tuesday. She absolutely loved her little fish. And then Wednesday was setup day. They had, so last year and the several years prior, Hachette had a group of French, it's the Randolph team is who it is, but they, like, one of their main jobs is to just learn how to play games so they can demo the games, and they often are the ones who get thrown into the event rooms to demo games. Also, I apologize if you can hear the dogs barking. But they were not able to come this year. Just didn't want to come into the United States, which was a common theme with a lot of people who were not coming from somewhere in the United States. I noticed like a lot of people were just like, yeah, I don't really want to come over. And I was like, I don't want to be here. So I get you. But yeah, so they didn't want to come over just due to everything that's been going on. And so they essentially, Hachette had to find like 10 more people to come and volunteer. Which for the most part, it seemed like everybody that was there last year was back. There was one person who didn't come back, and it was literally just because he had gone and worked with them for another event, and he didn't have any PTO left to come in and do Gen Con as well. So unfortunately we missed him, but it is what it is. Other than that, we had a lot of new people. They were super awesome. There was only one person that I really didn't get along with, and unfortunately it was the person that I was working side by side with. So I had mentioned in a video a while ago that they had said something to me about doing sales. I did end up doing sales, but honestly, it was so funny because I was like, I like doing sales and I wouldn't mind helping with sales if you need to. But I said, I kind of really want to just I really want to, I really missed doing demos and being able to talk to people, because I was like, oh yeah, it'll be so much fun. I'll get to kind of see what people are buying. And it's like, obviously we're selling a very limited amount of stuff. It's like, obviously, and like our two biggest games were Tag Team and Gwent, because of course they were. So it was just like, of course people are buying that. And it was literally just like Tag Team Gwent, So they were asking me about, like, some of the people were asking me, like, how did it go with sales, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I had fun, but, like, I miss doing demos and I miss talking to people. Cause then I feel like when you're checking out, like, you're literally just like, you've made your decisions, you've made your purchases, and now it's just time to GTFO and move on. And so I just think it's really fun to talk to people. I know that sounds so weird, but there's, like, apparently a clause in my anxiety where it's just like, oh, you're doing something that like Gen Con, and your anxiety no longer exists. Like, I don't really know how that works, but that's how it works. So, but yeah, because one of my other friends was just like, a lot of people were talking to him about, like, you hate being around people and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, but this is different. And I said, honestly, for me, it really comes down to whether I'm at a convention or I'm at a concert or I'm at a play or whatever it may be, for that solitary moment. And it could be 3 hours or it could be a weekend, it could be 4 days. But for that solitary moment, me and every single person around me has at least one thing in common. We love board games. We love this artist. We love the show that we're watching. You're at the movie theater, and for an hour and a half or 2 hours, you are fully engaged in what is happening. And it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. It doesn't matter what your political beliefs are. It doesn't matter any of that. All that matters is that for, again, like Gen Con's 4 days. 4 days. We are all there for one thing and one thing only, and that is board games. And I think that, for me personally, is really, what helps and what I love so much about being at a convention or being at a concert, being at a movie, going to a play, whatever it may be. It's literally just for that solitary moment. I am with people who get me. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds so cheesy, but I was talking to my friend about it and he was like, that's exactly how I feel. I said, I don't give a rat's ass what your sexual orientation is. I don't give a rat's ass what your political beliefs are. You know, you could have a hat on of something, or you could, you know, have your fingernails painted as a man, and as a male person. I don't want to say a man, as a male figure. And some people get so up in arms about that, but it's like, I mean, first of all, I don't care either way, but it's like, I don't give a shit. Like, we're not there to talk about what we believe. We're not there to talk about politics or, you know, human rights or whatever it may be. We're there to talk about board games. And I think it's fun because also, like, living in such a small town, we're not around different people all the time, you know? You live in such a small town, and it's like, I'm not around people who, I mean, yes, I believe differently than a lot of people do in my town, but I'm not around a lot of that, and I'm not, obviously not around a lot of people that believe what I believe, you know? Excuse me. And so, I don't know, it's refreshing to be around a group of people who, for the most part, are pretty like-minded, but also just really fun people. So I really, really appreciate that. But I will get off of my soapbox now. I think we are wrapping up the video here. So I just wanted to say thank you all so very much for watching. I had originally meant for this to be a talk-through video. That obviously did not work out, like I said, just due to technical difficulties and just me being me. You know how it is sometimes. But anyways, thank you all so very much for watching, and until I see you next time, bye bye.